can you take paracetamol for a bad neck? Because I slept funny last night.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, paracetamol is just a painkiller.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna.
Well, I'm going to take 2, so if I fall asleep, you know why. Fucking hell.
1 minute. So imagine we're top of the league by 2 points, and the highlight of what we have to talk about is Ross sleeping funny and taking 2 paracetamol. It's like we've been top for so long that we're now used to it. We've become the Man City of the South, and that's it. I mean, I don't really know what else to talk about. Any other?
But it is getting
gossip?
boring, all this winning.
It is, right?
No.
So we have.
My son's gone to somewhere. My son's gone to somewhere where it's got lots of crocodiles today. There you go.
Well, he went to a
He's
swamp.
sending me pictures.
He went to Emirates.
Hey.
So we have been recording.
He might not be feeling well, but he's still pulling them out.
What? Pulling out the crocodiles?
Brilliant.
All right, so this is a Hotspur Way. It's a terrible intro, isn't it? So let's start again. So this is a Hotspur Way, Season 1, Episode 16. We've just beaten Fulham at home 2-0 in what I thought was a completely professional performance. And at times I thought it was a bit too easy. And I've got a lot to say about it, but I'm not too well, so I'll let you go and talk. John, what are your thoughts, mate, on the game?
I thought it was good. I was surprised at some of the reaction that I heard and read online about people being upset about the second half substitutes, and even Ange being upset. Looking back, it did lose a lot of energy when Skip and Lo Celso came on. But all in all, I think it was a good victory.
Yeah, but that's going to happen, right? Isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you got to have
best players off.
Yeah, the best players are off, and you have to you send other people on to kind of just control the atmosphere and bring it home, right? That's why, and there's other sports that are called closers, and that's kind of what they did. They closed it out.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about Richarlison and Lo Celso. Is it Lo Celso or Lo Celso? I don't know. We'll talk about those two in a bit. Perchy, have you got anything to bitch about the game yesterday?
Not really. I think the only thing I would say is I think we learned yesterday that the drop off from the first 11 really is as substantial as I've been making out for the last few weeks. Because I thought as soon as as soon as Son and Maddison, specifically them two, come off the pitch, we do look a little bit toothless. But overall game, I thought was managed really well. I think if we had it our way, we could have been about 4-0 up in the first 20 minutes. I thought we were that dominant. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really good game.
Ross, over to you, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the two other guys. The drop-off, I think the drop-off is just due to lack of game time for the other players. I mean, I think Lo Celso did play against Brentford for a bit, so did Skippy. Johnson hasn't played for a few weeks. I think it's a bit of rustiness. They need consecutive substitute appearances, and I think that level will then go up. But overall, yeah, it was all right. It wasn't some sort of barnstorming game, but as you said, professional performance. I thought we pressed brilliantly with Son and Maddison, and that caused the 2 goals.
Awesome. So, guys, listen, I've got a bit of a conundrum, right? You know that I keep saying I bang the drum about us winning the league, and I do. A part of me does believe that we can win the league. A lot of things have to happen for that to happen, such as no injuries to key personnel, Man City slipping up, blah, 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 right? But pre-drop-off in yesterday's game, I've sort of seen a bit of a pattern developing. And what that pattern is that we seem to be... How can I describe it? You know when you play like 5-a-side or 11-a-side and you've got a team that's really technical and they try and walk the ball in? We seem to be doing that. And I don't know if we're doing that because we don't have a proper number 9 who can belt them in. I don't know why we're doing that. Maybe, just maybe, it's because we haven't fully taken on Ange's tactics and strategy, and he said that we wouldn't. So maybe that's the reason. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, by the way? Can you see what I'm talking about?
Sort of. I'm about the smacking it in. I think we have players that can. I just don't think we have an out-and-out striker. I think what I'd be more interested in seeing. Go on, Perch.
I agree with that. No, I'm just saying I agree with what you're saying. I think we're crying out for an out-and-out goal scorer that will like get us a substantial amount of goals. I just worry. I think if the biggest worry I have at the moment, this is why I always stand by. I don't think we're good enough at the moment to win the league. Is we're reliant so much on Jaymes Maddison. Everything good about us comes through Jaymes Maddison, and if he's injured or unavailable or just not having a good game, by the way, I think he's been absolutely exceptional. I worry. I look at it, and as I said, as I sort of said at the sort of early part of it, when they came off the pitch, him and Son as well. By the way, I put him into that category as well. When they come off the pitch, we look quite toothless.
We did. So, do you know? Right. Let's talk about Jaymes Maddison a bit. And one thing I noticed yesterday is that if you noticed, he was picking up the ball sometimes in the left back spot, sometimes even at sweeper, which I haven't seen a player do that so much. So everything is going through this guy. John, this one's for you.
Yep.
He's our quarterback, isn't he? I mean, everything's going through him.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
And yeah, listen, we've won 2-0 and we're 2 points ahead, and it sounds like we're bitching, right? We're not. But as Spurs fans, this is what we do. We sort of look at the bad things that are most likely going to come, because that's all we're good for, right? You know, the thick and the thin. It's just the thick with us, and I think it's inherent in us to think like that. And as I said, if we don't have any major injuries and we carry on playing and we get better and the players start to understand the role a lot more, then I think that we're going to get a lot better. There was a few things. Did you guys notice when we were a bit slow, it was before the subs were made, that Ange was losing his shit?
I saw that.
He does not want them passing back, and they keep doing it. He does not want them doing... Yeah, but there is no but, mate. He's the boss.
No. What I was going to just sort of tally on to that. It was just a sort of a feature. But Carrie, do your bit. I'll tally on to it.
Ross, were you going to say something, mate?
No.
All right. So
But
what I did, So what I did realise is that he was getting upset. So are we near the finished product? Absolutely not. We're not, and we should enjoy it. And we should be happy where we are. 2 points ahead. We're playing on Friday against Palace. We're playing away, right, at Selhurst Park. That's not an easy. I mean, we'll talk about that game in a bit. That's not an easy place to go. It really isn't, and it's another London derby, although they are in the south. So, look, we could go. We could be 5 points clear, right? Before anyone else. Can you picture that? 5 points clear. Anyway, we'll cover Palace. We'll cover Palace in a bit. John, over to you, mate. Any other like negative thoughts? Let's just get them all out there, and then we'll start to be positive.
I think I'm just still waiting for something bad to happen. Some injury, some big event, something. I mean, after last season, it's like you have PTSD over fears of, the roof collapsing in. Like you said, as a Spurs fan, you're waiting for it. So what's next? If we can make it through and everything goes good, then I'll be happy. But I think I'm waiting for something big to happen. An injury. I mean, if Madison went down, God knows how would he play. Although Højbjerg looked pretty good yesterday. Maybe Lo Celso would step up if Madison got injured. Who knows? Yeah, that's a big sigh.
Yeah.
No, I think Højbjerg looked good. I think it was a good game, by the way, for Basuma to be suspended for. And when I say that, I mean it in the sense of if you could pick a game for one of your key midfielders to be unavailable for, it is against a team that, no disrespect to him, aren't massively going to be causing massive amounts of threat. I thought it was a perfect game for Højbjerg, which I thought he had a good game, mind you. But I think what I worry is when you lose a Basuma for Chelsea, for argument's sake, or for Man City, then you start going, can Højbjerg handle the likes of Chelsea's midfield, Man City's midfield? That's where I start getting worried. I think you hit the nail on the head though. You're looking at Maddison going, you have to play every minute, and that concerns me that we're so reliant on this guy. Because, by the way, I think Jaymes Maddison has been an absolute breath of fresh air at this football club. What a football player we've signed.
He's unbelievable, mate. He's unbelievable. So, listen, guys, before
Yeah.
is there anything else before we get on to Richarlison? Because I think we're going to give him a bit of a shellacking. At least I am. Ross, as always, you've been the talk of the town on this show. You've spoken the most. So do you want to just tell us? Is there anything else that you just want to get out there before we start being positive?
No. Just to cover a couple of points that was raised. Jaymes Maddison, in an interview with Sky after the game, seemed to say that they were expecting Fulham to press and they didn't. Hence why he was coming deeper to get the ball. So I do wonder if that kind of threw us a little bit, expecting Fulham to come at us a bit more. But then you realise they have Carlos Vinicius up front and Iwobi on the bench, and you shouldn't really worry about that too much. But no, I've got no. There aren't. I mean, what Ange said in his interview after the game was nice to hear. It's best to get things like that sorted while we're winning than when we're losing.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So there is one thing I want to say. Oh, go on.
No, because I just said if you say it when we're losing, then the players are down already. I mean, it's the whole Conte syndrome. But yeah, that's all. No, I've got no negatives. But I know you want to speak about Richie.
I do, but just before we before we get to that, John, you wouldn't have seen this being in the States, but I watched so I can actually say this. No one's going to do anything. So because I live partially in Cyprus and, well, maybe full-time now in Cyprus because of what's going on in the Middle East, I have like IPTV, so I get all the UK channels and it's really, really cheap and it's great, right? And so I was watching it, and I can also watch it on my laptop, so wherever I am. And so I was watching Sky Sports, and Gary, did any of you watch Gary O'Neill before the game?
I didn't, but I know he was brilliant.
He was.
I watched some clips of it.
He was
Yeah, he was
absolutely
good,
he was absolutely brilliant. Apart from one thing, do you remember when Son was announced as the captain and he kept doing the stupid clap? So Gary O'Neill, Ross, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. He was doing, you know the conductor of an orchestra. Oh my goodness me!
Yeah.
If someone can meme Gary O'Neill's hands with what he was doing, did you not see it? Was I the only one who thought this is really funny? His hands were all over the place. He was so nervous, and he was literally, it was like percussion and wind instruments and everything. But yeah,
I thought that was a modern thing. I thought that was a kind of be more expression with your hands and all that these days. I thought all men had to be like that.
No, but it was like he was washing his wife's hair. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh,
So I mean,
that's
it
sweet.
was. But no, he is a very, very good coach, and I'm happy to see that he is doing something. He set up his team in a certain way, and they showed us a training video, and then to see that come off during the game, what they worked on for like nearly 2 weeks due to the international break, he said it was just he said it was magnificent. And I think that what happens, and he said it as well, is that when Ange and the coaching staff do this to the players, and look at the turnaround from last season, the belief just goes up 10 notches. Do you know what I mean? And so well done to Gary O'Neill, and well done to any coach who actually drills his team and doesn't just say, listen, we're going to play this way and that's that. No, they take a look at how the opposition play, and they do make certain tweaks. And there was something that he said which was really interesting, which was, and I think Ange is like this, even though in the media he says that, we only have one way of playing. That's not true, right? So what Gary O'Neill said is that, would I love to go to Man City, play high press, have 70% possession and loads of shots on target, yeah. But I've got to be realistic. So how many levels down can I come down from that to achieve something that sort of resembles that but doesn't make us lose the game? And again, that was so interesting to hear. You know, it wasn't like Mourinho and Conte where it was, listen, let's try and get the ball long. Oh, that was what it was like under Mourinho, wasn't it? And then if we score, sit back. Under Conte, I don't know what they were doing. And yeah, it was just refreshing to see that from Gary O'Neill, and well done. So Richarlison, every time the ball goes to him, I expect him to mess up. In fact, most of his first touches are a tackle. Although he did have an assist. I'll be, let's be fair. I don't know where he fits. I don't know where. I know that he makes certain runs and he takes players out of position and whatever, but he's not a player for this system. He really isn't, and I think that we need to sort out the left side. I don't believe it's going to be Johnson that's playing there. I think Johnson will probably be on the right, which means I don't know where Kulusevski's going to be. Although Kulusevski did turn up on the left a few times yesterday. That was interesting as well to see.
Yeah, he's still cutting.
Yeah. So Perchy, what do you think?
I couldn't believe it.
What do you? Yeah, I know Kulusevski on the left and cutting in. So what did you think about?
And I just don't. But that if I go on it, people won't like my rants about that. I think. But anyway, but we're talking about Richarlison here. If we were a proper football club, we would have sold it. We sell him in January. I don't care what anyone says. We sell him in January. This guy's not good enough. I've been saying on it for long enough. This guy's not good enough. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it with this guy. And I try to be nice. I try to be polite and positive, but I can't. But he keeps playing games and doesn't. The one thing I will give I'll start with a positive and then I'll move to a negative. The positive will be I don't even care about him scoring goals anymore because I'm past that. I know this guy doesn't score goals. I want him just to be involved. And yes, he was involved very much for the first goal. Really nice ball into Son. By the way, finish is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, applaud it for that. But the amount of chances this guy gets in the box, and he doesn't just miss. He misses wildly. That one when he has no pressure, the ball's coming over on the right-hand side. He comes to him. Anyone just thinks, take a touch and bury that into the corner. He doesn't. First time, skies it into the rosette. And you're going, what are you doing? It's like playing with 10 men sometimes with him on the pitch. It sounds horrible, but it does feel like it. If we're a proper football team, we'd sell him in January and buy someone else.
Yeah, so look, he is a Tottenham Hotspur player, so we love him for wearing the shirt, but I think what we can't tolerate is the fact that he doesn't seem to fit in. Ross, are you back, mate? So
hello.
Just for the listeners, Ross sent a WhatsApp message saying his mic broke, and so that's why he couldn't talk. I mean, we've done 16 episodes of this, and this is the first time you told us your mic's broken. That's why you're not talking. So, John, what do you think? Yeah, because I listened to you on Spooky's podcast, by the way. Wow, you can't shut up. On this one, it's like, yeah, I'll take a back seat. But I'm
not ordering food tonight because I'm polite and I don't want to talk over everyone. On that one, I'm only talking over Spooky, and that's fine.
Do I need to rant? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah.
I haven't said anything. Remember what I said? I can make you rant whenever, but it's okay, Perchy. You're doing great.
You can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, John, mate, over to you with Richarlison. Tell us what you think.
I'm on a fence about him because, on one hand, it's kind of a sunk cost at this point. Yes, he was expensive. He's not really getting the output that we deserve out of him. What is it? The last 4 games, I think he's had, or the last 5 games, he's had 1 goal and 3 assists or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the stat was, but I think maybe he's turning a corner. I don't know. But I love the guy for who he is. He wears the heart and he wears the shirt, and he has such a gigantic heart. He has such passion about everything he does. He obviously plays much better for his national team than any other team that he's been with. So we know where his true, heart is. But even all that said, it's hard not to like the guy. I really like him. It's hard for me to let go of him. Uh, so what do we do from here? What do we do from here? I don't know if we could move him to a different position, get better performance out of him. Obviously, he's got an issue just striking the ball cleanly and getting it into the back of the net. Uh, but other than that, I don't know what to do with him. He's a conundrum to me. We're not going to get out of him what we paid for him unless his agent
Doesn't
runs a miracle out of it.
I think you can get a good substantial. You're not going to get all the money back. You're going to get some money back. My theory is you sell him to Saudi Arabia, they'll want to buy Brazil's number 9. Get him gone. Get him gone. Let's get in someone else that can actually score a goal.
Yeah, but Perchy, you know that's not going to happen. You know how Daniel Levy is. He's not going to sell him
But
and take a
no,
loss.
I know, but this is the problem, right? And this is whenever I hear about new era and all this lot, I agree. Which this is, and then, but this it all comes full circle, right? And this is a slight rant. It's a small one, so you can order a small one, Ross, a small kebab. So, like this is where it goes full circle for me because I hear on one end of the spectrum, everyone goes, "We're going to win the league. We're winning the league. We're winning it all, guys," which is good. I like the optimism. But then we go, "Well, Daniel Levy's not going to change." So I sit there and go, "Well, there you go." If we want to win the league, we have to sell Richarlison in January and bring in somebody that's good enough to win us the league.
I agree, and let's say I hope that Ange can talk to Levy, get it in his head, and Levy can make some movements, make something. Maybe Munn can do it. Maybe who Longy or whatever his name is. They brought in. Maybe he can help. Whomever can help, but I think where we're at is that we have to appreciate the guy who's in our squad for the man he is, and that's just a dude with a gigantic heart who plays his ass off every match.
He wasn't.
John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Sorry, how would you feel? If Richarlison's name is on the team sheet on Friday, just hear me out. If you're Brennan Johnson or Brian Hill or even Valise for this argument, are you sitting there going, "What do I have to do to start a game of football? This guy can't even shoot on target, and I don't even get a look in." Do you see my point? Right? Do you get my point
100%.
on that?
Yeah, I mean, in going back to, I mean, that doesn't mean that he has to start every match. It doesn't mean that he has to be not on the bench.
I agree.
I'm just saying
he shouldn't be starting.
No, I somewhat agree with that too. I mean, bring in Hill, bring in Valise, anybody, just to see, and I think Andrew's is going to do that at some point because he has to, and that's just his style, right? So
has to.
Has to. I mean, in the match yesterday, there was a couple, just it looks like he couldn't hit the side of a barn with his foot. But regardless of that, I'm kind of like a realist in a sense that where are we now? Where we're now is we can't sell him right now, and so I appreciate the guy that he is, which is just this. I don't know, man. He's out of almost everybody on the team, on the squad. I would probably sit down and have a beer with that dude more than anybody else, because he just seems like a fun, nice, easy, heartfelt guy. Other than
he'd probably trip over and knock over your pint.
He wouldn't be that bad.
At least he wouldn't kick it.
Sorry. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. He'd miss that.
He'd trip up and nut the pint. That's what he'd do. Yeah. He wouldn't even kick it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, headbutt it. So, look, I tell you what. Yeah, I agree. But there's something you said which was interesting. You said that in the last 5 games he has 1 goal and 3 assists.
It was something like that. I can't remember exactly the stat.
I think it was something like that too. And you know what? That's where stats go bonkers, because due to the eye test, you don't see 1 goal and 3 assists. You do. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're human. We seem to focus on every other bit that he does. At the moment, Richarlison is, to all intents and purposes, a goalkeeper who's thrown him in. That's what he is. But he seems to be up front. And
what?
Yeah, don't you get what I'm trying to say? It's like you might have a goal.
I see your point.
He's protecting the wrong goal.
Yeah, so you might have a goalkeeper who might pull off some great saves, but then he throws one in by accident, and everyone's on his back. And it's like Richarlison, we're getting 1 goal, 3 assists. But we're focusing on him like going out for a beer with John, falling over and headbutting his pint. Do you know what I mean? And this is maybe what we have to do as fans. Maybe change that, maybe get off his back. But then again, even if we do that, does it make a difference?
Saying
I mean,
that,
I guess ask ourselves if we got an assist, a goal and 3 assists in a 5-game run out of any player, would we be happy with that player?
We would.
I would say this though. I'll put this out there. We talk about Richarlison. He's got more got better GA than Kulusevski. I'm just putting that out there. Kulusevski gets lauded as this amazing player, but he's got more goals and assists than Kulusevski has this season.
But I can tell you why. So Kulusevski has the Dembeles about him where he doesn't really lose the ball. Do you know what I mean? And we really value players like that. Richarlison, as I said, every other touch is a tackle or he's losing the ball.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think with Kulu though, I think he is Mr. Safe. I've never seen a player do the safe option like, you know, when you sit like you guys will understand, like you're a lot older than me and stuff, but you'll know this when I was younger, I loved explosive. I had to slip that one in, and I really like explosive wingers, like that just took on their man. Like Kulusevski's the complete opposite of that, right? Like it's like safe pass it to 2 yards to the side. It's like, oh come on, I want to see more, but yeah. I just wanted to throw that one in.
But mate, so we'll just talk about Kulusevski for a minute, right? What Kulusevski does is by holding up the ball the way he does, he brings so many other players into the game. He's dragging out players from the opposition left, right and centre. He's doing what Dembele was doing. Not as good, obviously. I don't think anyone can ever do that. But because he does things that we as mere mortals probably can't do, we then take a look at Richarlison and we see him not being able to control a ball, and we think, well, yeah, we couldn't control it either, you know. And why is he in the team? Because we're likening ourselves maybe to him. I know I was doing that yesterday. I was thinking, like, there was a point where it was 2 times in a row the ball went to him, and he could not get the ball under control. And I'll tell you what, if I was playing at our stadium, I would have done the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And so, look, you're saying sell him. I think we can get the money. Ross was trying to get about 5 words in. Ross, over to you, mate.
Get told off for not talking. Then when I do, I get shouted out. And now you guys are bullying. Where's my mummy? With Richie, I had a bit of a BDI on his during the game yesterday, and he's all right. I don't think he's as bad as anyone thinks he might be, but he's obviously struggling a lot to hit top form. But then again, when you look at his career, especially at Watford and Everton, what was his top form? I mean, he was never really a prolific goal scorer. He was more of as John said, you know, he's got a big heart. He works really hard. The only time I can remember him really being anywhere near prolific was when he got Everton out of a bit of a hole, which seems to be recurring every season. But it just seems, I don't know, what are we expecting from him? Because he's never delivered loads of goals.
To control the ball?
Well, yeah, I think that's just down to confidence. I just think that one is just purely down to him. He works in a different atmosphere with Brazil, obviously, but you're right. He should be able to control the ball, I know, but he did spin in a few really good balls yesterday that were very close to going in. And he did set up Sonny with his goal, which wasn't the hardest pass, but he still rolled it on a plate for him. So you got to give him some kudos. But as I said, I don't think he's as bad as everyone's making out. What I'm trying to say is, I think maybe we should move him on towards the end of the season, because he's never been something that we expect him to be. And that's not our fault. That's not his fault. That's whoever bloody bought him, which I don't even think was Conte. So it might be Paratici buggered up on one of them.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Anything else to add on the man who headbutts pints?
Perchy.
No, I just sit there and go, if I just want us to act like a proper football club. A proper football club gets rid of Richarlison in January. So let's see. As I said, that's why these are the reasons why I don't get carried away, because I just sit there and go, whilst we've still got players like Richarlison starting week in, week out, we're not winning games of we're winning games of football. We're not winning the league because better teams will punish us with players like that. But listen, we'll see. As I said, I want Richarlison to just click out of nowhere and become Ronaldo of Brazil, and just out of nowhere just do it because it benefits me as a fan. But I've seen enough. I can't understand the level of adulation this guy gets. He hasn't done anything for us. People laud him up, and it's like, I just want to. I'm done with him. Listen, it is what it is. We move.
So
We've got a lot of positives to talk about, though.
So one more thing on Richarlison. So his top seasons for goals was 13 at Everton, and he did that in 2018 and 2019. So not a lot of goals, but what he did when we played Liverpool a couple weeks ago, when he looked at Klopp and wound his ass up, I'm married to him at least for one more season. The fact that he looked at him and just wound Klopp up, yep, that's my kind of guy right there. Fuck Klopp.
Yeah, I want players that play well. Let's be honest. Here's the great argument for that. So you like player that does that? I'd rather a Harry Kane that doesn't do that but goes and scores 30 league goals, right? I'm just using Kane as an example because he was here last season, but I'd rather a player that goes and scores 15 to 20 goals in the league than someone that just winds a few people up.
Well, I mean, of course, I think sure, but there's also an aspect of just pure heart and pure emotion and pure entertainment value. I mean, we could if we could make 15 robots and have them out there running, scoring goals and getting assists, that'd be phenomenal for a stat sheet.
Yeah,
but would it be
win us the
entertaining?
league? I'm happy. Win us the league.
But would it be?
Win us the league. Though.
Would it be entertaining?
I don't care. Win us the league. I want to hug the random guy next to me in the stadium because the robots just scored the winning goal and then has won us the Premier League. I don't care. I'll be honest. I'm very much like that though. Like I don't have this air of sentimentality as much as other fans do. I'm very much like, listen, I want the best player. I don't care if he's got the personality of a sponge, but he goes and scores 30 league goals, right? I'm not one of those. I know there's a lot of fans that like the things like Richarlison does. For me, do all that stuff whilst playing well, because if you're not playing well when you're doing stuff like that, it's easy to be ridiculed, right?
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Am I right to jump in?
Yeah.
Not two-footed, not going to VAR. But can I just remind everyone...
absolutely took me out.
Look, shush. I rolled on the ball. Let's have a replay. Liverpool aside, we are top of the league by 2 points. We are doing really well. Can't we just be nice? I mean, I know. Richie...
No, listen.
I mean,
right.
the thing with Richie is, I mean, I want to turn around and see Scarlett Johansson coming out the shower in just a towel and a block of imagination. But that's not going to happen either. We have to be a bit more realistic with all this. We've got a goal scorer in Sonny who does do a lot of different types of goals that he doesn't get credit for. If you look at his finish against Arsenal compared to the finish last night, 2 different types of goals. What we need is a kind of a Brennan Johnson, who we have, and he's just coming back from injury. Shove him on the left, see how he goes. Bit of pace down that wing to compromise the lack of dynamic pace that young Decky has, and you never know what will happen, but I think to keep continuously throwing him under the bus, Richie, is not going to do him any good. But yeah, at the end of the season, let's explore it then. If he hasn't kicked in, then go to Saudi Arabia, mate, earn all your money and recoup whatever your agent's been stealing from you.
I like the voice of reason.
Throw him under the bus. We've just got to throw him on the bench.
I think everybody here agrees.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we've been unlucky with injuries to Hill and Johnson, and especially Perisic. I mean, we're kind of we're starting to miss
Yeah,
that.
I agree with the Perisic one.
Just throwing him on for
Massively.
half an hour was working so well. And if ironically,
Yeah, no, I agree.
who's the person who's set up both of Richie's goals? So it's like,
Yeah.
right, okay, but yeah, no, I think once Brennan's up and running, I think we will see a front three of Johnson, Son, and Kulusevski. So hopefully we can come up with a great 3-letter analogy of that. So then we can win the league by 30 points, and Scarlett will take away the restraining order, and we can be together.
Awesome, but I don't think that Johnson will play on the left. I have this sneaky feeling. That he's going to play on the right, and Kulusevski's going to shift over. That's what I believe.
But Decky only has one trick, and it's cutting inside, and it's sometimes fun.
I know, but he
Don't
did
take
it
away the
yesterday on the
fun.
left. Yeah, but he cut in
I know
on
he
the
did.
left, even though he's just left-footed, which is
know.
weird, right? I mean, so
I was talking
Right.
to my son about it. I said he's going to go down this left wing now and whip a ball in. The bastard cut in, and I was like, "What?"
I know. So Lo Celso, right? Look, all I'm going to say on him is that he just needs games. You know, that's all it is. He's really rusty. That's all it is. And is he going to get the games? I don't know. Only if there is injuries, and then we can see the proper Lo Celso. It looks like he doesn't want to go anywhere, but again, you know, PR machines are useless. You know, so what can I say about that? Anyone else?
Has he talked about his desire to stay?
It depends on who you believe. You know,
Okay.
it looks like he has, and that he didn't want to go anywhere and blah blah blah. But you know, unless you're in his
He
head,
always-
how do you really know that?
Yeah, he always looks so unmotivated when he's out there. I don't know why. Maybe I'm talking about the same view I have of Richie, that it just feels like he loves everything he does with a passion. And Lo Celso's the opposite. It looks like he'd rather be sitting in a corner plucking wings off of flies than out on a pitch kicking a ball around. It's he looks like he's not having fun. It looks like he's not enjoying himself.
I think you're right.
To give him his dues, he did look
Yeah.
a little bit. He did look a bit more bountiful yesterday. I mean, There's pictures of him in Porro and Valise celebrating the win after the game yesterday. So it might just. He might
that
just.
was that 3-man hug, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean that's not something I would have expected off Lo Celso. So maybe we've unearthed his actual personality,
Soul.
and it'll come out a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's as you said. I think you're right. He does need more games. He does need a bit more time. Maybe half an hour against Palace, and it'll just do him the world of good. It might mean taking off Maddison again, but again, that gives Maddison a break, and just say, go on then, prove your worth. But he has just come back from an injury that's kept him out for about a month or so. So he's another player. I think give him another couple of games, then start really digging into him. But for now, he's doing. Let's let him cheer up a bit, and off he goes.
Exactly. So Crystal Palace, if we take a look at their fixtures, forget the Carabao Cup, but if we take a look at their fixtures in September and October, in September they beat Wolves at home 3-2. Then they lost 3-1 to Villa away. Then they drew 0-0. So they are the win-loss draw. That's what it looks like. Because then they lost again on the 30th of September, drew away. Sorry, they won. They drew, and then they lost against Newcastle. So if we're going by these stats, then we're going to lose. But of course, football isn't played. Football isn't played like that, though, is it?
No, they beat
And-
Man United.
But they did. But that's
So did we, yeah,
that's
but-
Man United. You know what I mean?
I think the one thing this is going to be the one thing at Crystal Palace is very similar to Fulham is a very organised side, but they don't score goals. So it is going to be one of those. I think what you're going to have to do is it's going to be hard to break them down, right? Like you're going to have to break them down, and very similar to how we did with Fulham. I think it's going to be very, very similar to the Fulham game. I think Friday night under the lights at Selhurst Park, it's going to be very, very similar. I think we beat them, but it's not. I don't think it's one of those that everyone thinks we're going to walk it over. But listen, I hope we get a result there. but I think they can't score goals for love nor money. They've only scored 7 goals this season.
11 total.
No, they've scored 7.
Nope. I'll tell you.
In the league.
So they scored.
In the league, they've scored 7. They've conceded, I think, 11.
Hold on 1 minute. So Sheffield United, they won 1-0. They drew against Brentford. They lost against Arsenal. They didn't score. So that's 2 goals. They scored 4 against. Oh, that's Carabao Cup. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I counted the Carabao Cup.
And they are missing
right there again.
You are right.
Elise
mate,
and Eze.
Are they really?
They're crucial.
Are they
They're
really
massive.
missing them?
I mean,
Oh, they're the best players. It's like us missing Son and Maddison.
On the Premier League
Yeah.
injury table, it says they're not going to be back until early November.
Yeah, they're missing those 2 massively. They're the talismans of their team, right? But as I said, the key one is with them is they haven't got a goal scorer. They haven't got someone that you can go and get 10 or 15 goals in the season. So I think for that, it's going to be very similar to us again, like we were against Fulham. Because Fulham, by the way, are in the exact same situation. They haven't got someone to put it in the back of the net, and so I think we'll be okay against Palace. I think we go there. You have to be the same. You have to stick there and do the same thing. Keep working hard, and fundamentally, I think you've just got to go and someone's coming into someone's door. I think we'll be fine. I think we beat Palace and we'll go 5 points clear at the top of the
Is
table.
that a euphemism for something?
I don't know. I just heard someone's ring doorbell go.
That was my ring doorbell. That was my ring doorbell. Apologies.
I could hear someone walking past someone's door.
That's for Charlison going around John's house to say what the bleep.
Yep.
It'd go to the wrong house.
He was aiming for yours, Perchy. That's
Sorry.
he ended up in America.
Yeah, I mean, it says it all exactly.
Oh, bless him. I think you're right. I mean, when I saw Vinicius up front last night, something's come through my door. For Charlison. When I saw Vinicius up front last night, I wasn't worried. I mean, he was dreadful for us, and we've got better quality players than Fulham at that time, even under old Jose. But I mean, I remember when he joined Spurs, I was like, "Oh, that'd be a nice cover for Kane." But wow, was he crap, and still is. I'm always curious why Fulham signed him, but oh well. Jorge Mendes must be laughing.
Cost him £1 million.
They've paid $1 million too much.
No, they paid £1.5 million for him. That says it all, right?
So I'll be honest, I've not watched Crystal Palace play 1 minute of Premier League football or any football this season. They're from South London, as I said. Pavements are bigger than streets. Everything's weird. I'm not interested in any South London teams. Them and Arsenal, same thing. Have any of you seen them play?
Yes.
Nope.
A little bit, yeah.
And do you want to
I
expand
mean,
on
they
that?
played. They played at
go on, mate.
Arsenal, I think. Didn't they play? They've played Arsenal this season, haven't they? Or am I thinking of last season?
Yeah, they lost. They lost.
Yeah. Arsenal won 1-0.
Oh,
penalty.
yeah, and that was a really drab game. They played really well against United. They held. I don't even think they really held on that much, but they beat them 1-0 at Old Trafford. Good mid-table clash, and I think. But as Perchy said, missing Eze, Elise, and obviously Zaha going in the summer, that's a hell of a lot of talent missing for them. For a club of that stature that are relying still on Ayew and Jeffrey Schlupp and Edouard, but it still haunts.
And all that lot, right?
But it still haunts me that Edouard got a hat trick or something like that against us on like his debut. How that ever happened, it scares me.
Well, I don't know how Ayew is a professional footballer.
I don't know how he's still at a Premier League club.
Have you seen him play? I don't know what he does. He's useless. He's been useless.
He's a poor man's
for years.
Richarlison.
I feel like this is gonna bite us in the backside, isn't it? Watch him get a hat trick on this Friday night. Watch.
Oh.
This isn't good.
No, mate, he ain't getting
The
a hat.
football gods, the football gods will be on us.
No, mate, Ayew is so useless that even if the football gods wanted it to happen, he'd fall over and miss. He's absolutely toilet. I don't get how he plays in a Premier League team. So from what you're saying, if that game against Arsenal was drab, we're expecting a low block, because I was expecting a low block from Fulham. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what Fulham were doing. I don't think Fulham knew what they were doing. 1 minute they would go low block, then they wouldn't, and they would try and counter. I think Palace, maybe it's the same, or maybe it just will be a complete low block.
Well, it's at Selhurst Park, so it might be different. So, and that's a tight ground with a loud noise, so it might just be. It will be different to the Fulham game, I would have thought. But it'll be interesting to see what Roy presents us with, and how we deal with it. So it'll be an interesting game. But I think you're right. I think if Son, Maddison, and everyone else is in the starting 11, our starting 11 should beat theirs. Famous last words.
And I think we will. So guys, can one of you do this, because I can't? So on the WhatsApp group, so here are the predictions. I think we're going to win 1-0.
I got it.
I'm not going to say who's doing what. Perch, what do you think, mate?
Just to be a little bit different, because I thought I was thinking we'll win 1-0, but I think we're going to win. I'll go 2-0. Jaymes Maddison brace.
Ross?
I'm going to say 2-1 to us. Richie gets both goals, one from the halfway line, the other a solo run from our own goal line, and Andre Ayew scores an overhead kick from 20 yards.
If that happens, I'm closing down the podcast and never watching football again. That ain't gonna happen. It's not.
Yeah,
gonna
but which one? The Richarlison or the Ayew goal?
No, none of it. None of it is gonna happen. And
None of it.
I shouldn't really say this, but I'm gonna have a book coming out, a novel coming out soon, and it dabbles in multiverses and things like that, right? And if you look into quantum mechanics, this is really going deep, but if you look into quantum mechanics and observable science, you'll find that there are certain things that we don't understand. This, what you've just mentioned now, doesn't even fall under quantum mechanics. It cannot happen in any universe, in any time period, in any space-time. So, yeah, that ain't happening. John, what do you think, mate?
Since everybody's going wild, I'm going to say Richie starts from the bench, or Richie starts. He's going to be on the bench, and
hold on a minute. Who's cooking?
It sounds like somebody just poured a soda or something, didn't they?
Yeah, I was pouring a beverage. Is that okay? Am I allowed to pour a soda?
A soda.
I thought my microphone was messing up, but I just kept talking. Thank God.
I know. I thought it was your mic as well. I thought, what is this hiss? Hold on.
Was it?
Yeah, hold on. Perchy, what you drinking, mate?
It's a Coca-Cola Zero.
Oh, all right.
Nothing
Do you
extravagant.
know what I haven't had in ages, and I heard that they discontinued it? Lilt. Remember Lilt?
Meth?
No, they haven't discontinued it. They've turned it into a Fanta. Absolutely shameless.
Here's the rant.
Sorry.
Put the kettle on, guys.
I'm sorry. How good was Lilt though? Let's be honest. You can't just turn that into a Fanta.
I don't know why they got rid of it.
What was the tagline?
There's so many other drinks.
Taste of Paradise, was it? What was it? What's it?
Something like that, yeah.
No, it's a totally tropical taste.
Oh yeah. Hold on a minute, Perch. How do you remember that? You're 17.
I love Lilt.
How do you remember?
I'm not 7. Sorry, I'm 31. Sorry, hang on. I'm not 17.
Yeah, but I stopped drinking Lilt 30 years ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Do you remember
So?
Tizer? Do you remember Tizer?
What does that mean?
Anyone?
I do. I never drunk it.
Oh, delicious.
Do you remember? Was it? I don't know if it was. I think was it Tab Clear. I wish they'd bring that back.
Yeah, that
See-through cola.
Yeah, that was just silly. Now I'll tell you what, guys. Do you know what Frazzles are, right? John, you probably have no idea.
No, you guys are talking about stuff I've never even heard of.
Right. Okay. So
Frazzles are
no, they're not.
horrible.
So listen to what you do, guys. You pour yourself a glass of Tizer, and then you dip your Frazzles in it. Oh, it's yes, absolutely.
Are you an animal?
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
He is.
What
Absolutely
on earth
delicious.
are you on about?
Yeah. You've got to try it. No, you've got to try it. Frazzles dipped in Tizer, and then you let them melt on your tongue. Oh, delish. Absolutely.
Do you know what I've never done?
What?
I've never put Mentos in a Coke bottle. I've never done that, and I really want to. And I really want. I've got my boy again this weekend. I'm tempted to on Saturday or Sunday. I just want to do it.
Don't tell him that's what you're doing.
Yeah, do it for the 5th of November, mate.
Can we have a video of it though? You've got to video it though. If you do it, I want to see it.
I want to get him. I'll get him to do it, and I'll video him. He'll love it.
Yeah, okay, deal. Can't wait for
So,
this.
John, you were going to say something, and then we cut you off with Tizer, Frazzles, and Lilt. Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
That's the name of that's the title of the show, by the way.
I don't know
Tizer,
what any of that is.
Tizer, Frazzle, and Lilt.
Lilt.
That is the
Okay,
title.
there you
Done.
So I was going to say that Richie is going to be on the bench at the beginning of the match. I'm not. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm going to go 3-1. Sonny brace. Madison's going to help with 1. 3-1.
And we go 5 points clear. Although, according to some people, we'll probably still be joint top, even though we're 5 points clear, right? Is that how it works?
Fuck the haters.
When do we?
Well,
I
the
Don't
XG
start
table said we're
joint
not top.
stuff.
I love the fact that there are haters. I think it's so funny.
Oh, it's good. I agree.
I tell you
love
what,
it.
if people aren't talking about you, it means you're doing something wrong. And the fact that so many people are talking about us right now and not taking us seriously, I think it's hilarious. Now, let's just hope we don't fuck up. That's the thing. Like Arsenal have put out, I've seen some, not petitions, but polls as to when do they think Tottenham are going to bottle it. This is from a club that was how many points clear last season? Can someone remind me? How many points clear they were?
They were 12
10.
points clear, weren't they?
10,
Or was it
10
9
points. No, it's 10 points
10.
at one stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think even more.
Oh,
Let's just
Yeah, I
say,
thought it was
let's
10.
just,
I thought at one point they were 12 points.
yeah, I
ahead.
thought it was 12 or
But
13.
I think that Man City had games in hand, of
It
course.
doesn't
but yeah.
matter. 12 points clear. And they didn't just,
It was 12 points on.
yeah,
but
they
I'm sure.
didn't just bottle it. They made a factory. How can they be talking? Get in your box. Fuck off.
and what was
Right.
our expectations
I love
before the
just spraying
season?
and swearing.
And what was our expectations before the season? 7th, 6th. So anything that happens now is a bonus. And
Not
Angie's
get
a,
relegated.
Angie's
from
a
some
beautiful
fans.
man. That was you, Perch. Yeah.
No,
Wish
it
Ange was
wasn't
my
me.
dad.
He could
He
be.
looks like a good hugger. No. I
said
look
this
too much like my
before.
mum and dad. Not now, but you know.
I'd hope so. Sorry, I'd hope so. That would be mental.
Right, so any other business before we wrap up, as we've been going for an hour? Or nearly an hour.
AOB.
How are your
Oh,
how are your
there's a
YouTube?
rumor on Twitter that there's a
Oh.
rumor on Twitter that I run the Spurs official Twitter account.
But you do. We can put that one
I'm
to
not.
bed.
I'm not confirming or denying.
But we know that you do, so...
I did like. Well, if that's the case, then you were the reason that you called out a Twitter troll after after the Vicario post. Did anyone see that?
Yeah, that was
quite
brilliant. The Tottenham
No.
one.
cool. That was so
Can you
funny.
tell us what you're talking about?
Do you know about
no,
this,
no,
James?
I don't.
So basically, Vicario, you know, they do it in rotation. So the player will do a video like kind of message to say, "Oh hi, it's Vicario here, and massive clean sheet, blah 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 blah, and whatever." Yeah. So he did that video and stuff, and normally they just say, "Oh, message from our goalkeeper is the club," but the admin. So someone earlier on in the week did a ranking list of Premier League goalkeepers, and he has like nearly 200,000 followers and stuff, and he put the Tottenham one is the Spurs goalkeeper Vicario, not putting his name. So the Spurs admin went a quick message from the Tottenham one,
Oh dear.
which I thought was
Yeah,
quite funny.
it is. I mean, they're actually doing an all right job, to be fair. But then again, I mean, we're top of the world, right? And so everything seems to be harmonious right now. So I have a little side pet project, and that is, I am trying to convince. Well, it's not really convince because she doesn't really know anything about football. So I haven't got to the offside rule, but I'm trying to convince. Ross knows her. I mean, you heard her talk today, Athena, to support Spurs, which I think I'm there.
And
then
who is
what we
she
have
to
do-
you?
She works with me, and so
I thought she was your wife. Athena.
no. and so I just hope my wife doesn't hear this podcast. Thanks a lot, Ross. Oh, thank God it's at the end because she wouldn't listen this far down. Yeah, so. Oh my goodness. Well, look, if you don't hear from me again, you know what? You know why. Thanks, Ross. accomplice. So yeah,
I'll be your host next week.
I'm on. Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be a really short pod, seeing as you don't say anything. But I'm on a mission to get her to be a Spurs fan and to get that itch. I think I can do it. I really think I can do it.
I've got an idea. I've got an idea. I think we collectively should get her a Hotspur Way #1 Tottenham shirt. That's the start. That is promo as well.
I know, that's
And
fantastic.
headband.
And headband and everything, all the other merch. I'm going to tell her that Perchy's paying for it because he's the only celebrity. And so...
I'm not a celebrity. Can you please stop saying this? I'm really not.
I don't know, yeah. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And look, I've just decided, I recently read a few... It wasn't a book. It was various articles on how the Catholic Church converted most of Africa. And I'm basically using the same strategy. You know,
We are such a diverse podcast, aren't we?
Yeah.
Where else can you find information about Frazzles, women's clothing, Lilt, and whatever you just said about South Africa? So
South Africa. I am implementing the same strategy the Catholic Church used throughout Africa. I'm basically doing a missionary job. That doesn't sound right. I really hope my wife's not listening to this. But yeah. So I really hope Athena now doesn't listen to it anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. So with that, guys, Perchy, say goodbye, mate.
Say goodbye, mate.
John.
Bye, guys.
bye.
See you later, guys.
I don't have to say Ross. I mean, it's obvious it's you, right? I mean, you come after
Well,
those
or
two.
am I Spurs official?
Hey.
Yeah, you come third in this quartet.
Story of my life.
It's not even a lemon party, is it? All right, and bye
could
from
be.
me. It could, well, yeah. All right, guys, bye.